Hey everyone, this is Michael with the general reading for Aries Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for January 2020. Hello and welcome, whether you're watching this video for yourself or cross-watching for another individual with Aries placements. Welcome to 2020. We are in the first year of a new decade, so that's always really exciting. I'm very curious to see what the cards have in store for you, Aries. But before we actually go into that, I do just want to give a quick shout out and thank you to all of you who have supported this channel with your likes, shares, comments, and subscribes. It's because of all of you I am able to continue putting out the love, putting out these messages, and doing this incredible work, which is an absolute blessing. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you all so much. If you are still waiting on an email or personal reading from me, those are coming. I was a bit busy with this previous holiday sale that I did on my website. I had 20% off all of my readings and Reiki sessions, and y'all really turned up for that, which is great. I'm really happy, but it was honestly a lot, so I am catching up. I should be getting to those very shortly, however, but I just wanted to get to these general readings. I do have all of my links for all of my social media accounts, my Instagram, Facebook, and website. Definitely subscribe and follow if you haven't done that already. That way you won't miss out on any future giveaways I'm doing or any other sales I have. I also had a recent giveaway that was won by Jesse and Kimber, so congratulations to them. They both won free readings from me. So a lot of really awesome stuff there. Again, be sure to follow and subscribe so you don't miss out on any announcements. I post on all of my social media accounts, so that way I make sure that I reach everybody. And of course those links are down below, as well as links for personal readings, Reiki sessions, and donations for those of you who feel so called. Now, I do like to start off these readings with a brief astrological report, and I'm going to really try and keep it brief this time. I feel like each video has just been getting longer and longer, but if you want to skip ahead straight to the reading, I will invite someone in the comment section down below to leave a timestamp that jumps straight ahead to the cards, because I recognize that not everyone is going to be interested in hearing about the astrology. Maybe you already know. But I think it's good just to have kind of a refresher, and it usually really complements the cards quite nicely. I do also have an astrological forecast blog in the description box down below, as well as a natal chart calculator if you'd like to pull up your own chart and kind of see where everything is going to be landing for you throughout this reading. That could be really helpful to have. And I also have all of the dates and specific aspects and transits that are going to be happening for January. And we do have kind of an interesting month because we are starting off this year with an eclipse on January 10th that is going to be in the sign of Cancer. And it's always really interesting when the moon is being eclipsed in its native sign, in Cancer, because the moon rules over Cancer. And Cancer really does represent some of our most sensitive areas in our chart. So wherever Cancer falls for you, if you are an Aries rising, it is likely your fourth house, not always. It could also be, even just for Aries sun, this fourth house is affecting your home, your family, your sense of belonging, really. And that's kind of a very tender area for you that's going to be going through very deep healing with this eclipse. However the eclipse is affecting us this time, whatever house this is falling in, wherever this is falling in our chart, it is also occurring in the 20th degree of Cancer. So really pay attention to where that 20th degree falls, because that's where you're really going to be feeling this eclipse. And a lot of the time with eclipses, particularly lunar eclipses, they are associated with losses and endings. Excuse me. I'm sorry, I've been using my voice all day here. But they are usually associated with losses and endings. And this very often catalyzes very deep healing, especially when the moon is in Cancer. There is going to be some very deep stuff that is going to be stirred up in us this month. I definitely feel that. Someone might say something that just rubs us the wrong way and we kind of spiral. That could be potential for some of you, but it's really, I actually see that could actually be a family member, specifically for you Aries. There could be something going on there. But this is really, I'm not gonna lie, it's heavy energy, and I feel like I've been talking about this ever since I started this channel. We are in heavy times. We are going through some heavy energy, and I do feel like 2020 is kind of the year where it's almost the final exam, the practical exam of what we have been dealing with throughout 2019. And I feel like there's going to be a lot of review, and there's going to be a lot of closing out of cycles on the 10th with the eclipse. And also we have some major conjunctions that are happening on the 12th. We have Saturn and Pluto, which are going to be conjunct together. That's usually something that happens about every 32 years, so that's kind of the big draw this time around. But it is actually conjunct with the Sun as well as the asteroid Ceres, and Mercury is actually just a degree off from that. All of this is occurring in the 22nd degree of Cancer, with Mercury in the 23rd. So there is so much Capricorn energy, and we have been really learning a lot of lessons with Capricorn for quite some time. For you, Aries, it's very likely that this is affecting your 10th house, your midheaven, your career, your destiny, your purpose in the world. And there's been a lot of transformations that have been going on there, and maybe a lot of work and energy that you're pouring into it that just hasn't really been paying out. We actually did have Jupiter that came into Capricorn last month, however, and I do feel like that is starting to free up that energy. We are starting to see some results. We are starting to feel some sort of progress. But Saturn energy can really be quite withholding and quite restrictive. And it's not because Saturn is this evil planet that wants to make us all feel miserable. That's not what the cycle has been about at all. So don't get into that trap of thinking that way about the planets or the stars or anything like that. What this is really about is that Saturn is almost like this father figure. And it's like, if you want to have a puppy, you're going to have to prove that you are responsible enough, that you're going to take care of the puppy. And there might be tests, there might be trials, and you have to pass those before you're given what you want. Pluto is also kind of, it's considered a malefic planet traditionally, so it can feel kind of negative when we're going through it. Pluto will also take things away. So we might have felt like we're being tested, as well as just being stripped down to the bone, and it's almost like we felt like we couldn't catch a break in this area in our lives, and we're finally being able to do that. But Pluto is interesting because Pluto will take everything away, and if you pass the test, if you transform, you can actually get back what you lost and then some. So whatever losses that you're going through, I feel like there is this equivalency that is going to be coming back to you. And this month isn't all heavy. I know this Saturn-Pluto conjunction can feel really intense. It's almost like we have one last lesson, because we did actually have this conjunction last year and these two planets went retrograde, and now it's happening again. So we kind of had this very special, rare occurrence happen twice in 1 year. Actually, I believe 3 times, because I think when they went retrograde, they did conjunct again. So we're really feeling a lot of this heavy energy. We've been feeling it. And I think January is going to kind of be, we are going to be tested a little bit. And we're going to feel quite raw, because we do have that eclipse that is happening 2 days before. So that's going to be, we're really going to feel it. But I feel like it's kind of the last contraction, the last push before we birth in this new cycle. And we are ending off the month with this Aquarian new moon. We are coming into Aquarius season. That's actually a very auspicious and wonderful time. And it's also very much about thinking about the future and revolutionizing things, reinventing things. And with this Aquarian energy for the new moon, it's a beautiful time to manifest a new future for yourself. Because Aquarius, especially for you, Aries, this is your 11th house, which is not only the house of friendship and social networks. I actually look at it as just the house of support, the way the universe is supporting us. So we can manifest some really big miracles on this full moon, or I'm sorry, this new moon on the 24th. So really work with the law of attraction, especially after you've been cleared out. Energetically, you are going to be a lot lighter at this time once you have let go of these things. So don't hold on, don't try and fight it. You know, obviously do what you have to do, but there is something new and better coming in. And we can manifest that at that time. So I'm going to leave this at that. I'm going to leave the astrology report at this. I don't want to go so over the time. My videos have been getting so long. I'm actually going to kind of be reducing my spread a little bit as well. I feel like it's a little bit redundant sometimes, so I'm curious to see how this goes. I would love to hear in the comments if this just felt much more to the point, or if you feel like I should kind of keep the formula I've been using. But yeah, let's pull some cards for you. And as I'm shuffling here, Aries, I just want you to keep in mind that this is a general reading, meaning not all of the messages that come through are going to be meant for everyone. It's just reaching the people who need to hear these messages the most. If this video does not resonate or you'd like greater clarity on something that came forward, you're also more than welcome to take a look at the other readings for your Moon, Rising, and Venus sign for the month of January. If you don't know what those are, I do have the natal chart calculator in the description box down below that should be able to help you figure out those other placements. You can also check out the Heart of the Matter love readings. Those are timeless romance and relationship readings. You can just peruse through all of those readings and see if anything pops out at you, or just go to the most recent one. I actually didn't do them last month. I do apologize because I was quite busy, but I should be doing those later this month as well. And you may also notice that some of the messages that come forward, especially if it's talking about a third party or another person, it could actually be your own energy, or vice versa. Your energy in this reading could be applying to someone else. Again, these messages are just trying to reach the greatest number of people as possible, so you're free to switch the roles in whatever way makes sense to your situation. And if you are cross-watching, there is a good chance you're showing up as this other person in their reading. So what are the messages for Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus? Show me clearly. And this is the kind of energy you're dealing with coming into the month of January here. And I just looked down on this 11-11. So going back to that Aquarius new moon really quickly, the 11th house, manifest some miracles. There is a portal opening up for you here, Aries. So show me clearly. Okay, so what have we been dealing with? We have the Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Cups, and then we actually have 3 cards that came out together. We have Strength, the King of Pentacles in reverse, and the Sun in reverse. So there's definitely some other energies that are coming up in this reading. Some of you could be dealing with an earth or water sign. So you may be dealing with Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus. Could also be Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer. I do also see some Leo energy pretty strongly with the Sun and Strength card. So that's quite a bit of energy. But I see with this Queen of Pentacles, I actually wonder if this earth element is something that a lot of you are trying to take on for yourself. And I actually feel like, Aries, things are looking pretty stable for you, at least in your day-to-day life. We do have this Queen of Pentacles. I feel like you're thinking a lot about the future. What is going to be yielding fruit for you? What is something to kind of let go? This is sort of energy that you've already been in, or energy you're going to be dealing with at the start of January. And I do feel like, you know, you're looking at this pentacle here. I do feel like you've earned this. You've earned something. You've really come into something, and it feels quite good. You've achieved something. But I'm almost getting the sense, looking at this card, looking at this queen, that she is kind of... she's thinking more about this. Is there more here for me? Is this all this is going to yield, or can I get more out of this situation? And again, this is actually feeling more like a work situation, although it could be a long-term relationship for some of you. But honestly, Aries, things are looking pretty good. I see with this Queen of Cups, You know, again, some of you could be dealing with a water sign. This is showing up in your emotions. You're very intuitive. You're very psychic right now, actually. Your intuition is very strong, especially when it's coming to practical matters. So if you're trying to figure out what you should be doing long term, or if you're thinking about making a career change or some sort of move, really listen to your intuition on this one. Where things are getting a little bit hairy, Aries, is communication, is your mind. You might feel more at ease, but where things actually are going might be a little less clear. You might have this inner sense of knowing, and you are thinking about it a lot, but I feel like you're really trying to figure out what the future is looking like. And with the sun in reverse, things are not clear. And this King of Pentacles, it's like something about the stability that you've earned. You're not quite trusting it. Or you might be holding on to it. Holding a little too tightly. And there's actually more that you're supposed to be opening yourself up to that you're not even seeing. I do see with the Strength card, I feel like Aries, you've come out of a really hard patch. At the start of January, you've really done a lot of growth and a lot of building your own foundations here. Maybe you've been working with, you know, a water or an earth sign, or maybe a Leo here. Maybe you've been building foundations together. But ultimately, you've been putting in a lot of work. And I definitely feel like there have been tests. This card definitely speaks of tests. And the strength in this card is not being this ferocious beast, you know, not being this lion. It's actually taming this. Finding emotional composure. Your life could actually look very challenging right now. But you have this inner stability. You have this emotional stability. You're starting to come into that in January. And I feel like it's definitely been tested. And I do get the sense that things still aren't quite clear. But you're actually kind of okay with that. Maybe something didn't go the way you had expected it either. That could especially be the case if you're dealing with an earth sign. Maybe things aren't going how you expected. Or as quickly as you'd like to. With the Strength card, you're kind of being tested, you're kind of needing to persevere a little more. There could be someone around you. You might actually be helping them. This earth sign, this King of Pentacles, someone who just lost some stability, could be Leo energy as well. But that's really, really interesting. Some of you might be losing, with this King of Pentacles, some of you might be losing a sense of stability in terms of a relationship or possibly a job. And you've worked really hard. But I feel like you have this inner foundation that you didn't have before. 2019 really forged you. Even if it felt like you didn't make a lot of progress, even if it felt like a lot of the same grind, there's been a lot of transformation here, Aries. I'm seeing that. And it might not be readily apparent to other people, but I think on some level you are feeling this. You've grown a lot. I'm really curious to see what the animal wisdom is here for you so far. And just with this eclipse in mind, some of you could be having a falling out with an earth sign. So again, that's Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus. Could also be Leo. Maybe even Virgo, Leo cusp. But honestly, you're dealing with it quite well. All things considered. Hummingbird. Yeah, you found, you're very light energetically. I feel like you've let go of a lot of blockages, a lot of burdens. Your spirit is actually quite light. And if you don't feel that way, if you're kind of listening to this reading and it's like, how am I going to get here in the first half of January? Really find this nectar, find this mana. And it's going to be different for everybody. For some people, they find creativity, music, art. That's where they get their energy. For some other people, it's meditation. For some, it could be going out into nature. Maybe it's a variety of all of these different things. But it's you going back to this source that keeps up this high vibration. And that's kind of what I mean. Like, I do get the sense there may be some sort of loss, but you really don't feel that distraught about it. You actually feel lighter, which is quite interesting. You're really taking this energy in stride at this point. And I do feel like there's a lot of good things coming for you stability-wise, but it might be a little bumpy right now. So I'm curious to see where all of this is going. We're going to be looking now kind of at the second half of January. Could be a little further out as well, especially with these eclipses here. So show me clearly. What are the messages for Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus? I do feel like for some of you there is a water sign who's kind of coming into the picture. And I don't even know if you're really noticing each other at first, because I'm seeing these two queens. This Queen of Pentacles, which honestly feels like a lot of you are embodying, and this Queen of Cups, you're both kind of focused on your own element. Whatever it is that comes naturally to you. You're feeling a lot of productivity right now. And of course, this role could be reversed. You might be dealing with a earth sign here, and you're coming across as very watery and emotionally stable and intuitive and nurturing. You're both actually nurturing in different ways, and I feel like there is this connection that's kind of blossoming for some of you, but I actually feel like you don't even necessarily notice each other right away. It's almost like you kind of just bump into each other in your own flow. Nice, okay. What else do we have? Was the future energy for Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus? Interesting. So I have the Empress, the Four of Swords, and we do have a Nine of Swords here as well. This is quite interesting. And it kind of feels like a repeat of the energy, to be a little honest with you here, because this Empress, things are actually looking very stable. I feel like you are coming into some abundance here. If you're waiting for a promotion, if you're waiting for a new job opportunity, I feel like it could very well come. Some of you might also be moving, and it feels kind of like an upgrade with this Empress energy. Also not surprised to see Empress here, because we already had these two queens, and the Empress is kind of all of the queens coming together in a way. She's very much divine feminine energy. Some of you may also be involved with a Taurus or a Libra individual. And I feel like kind of going back to this previous energy where we have the two queens focusing on their own element here, focusing on themselves. I'm actually seeing a bit of a pause with this Four of Swords. A bit of healing going on, some rest. And it's actually making you a little bit anxious. I almost wonder, Aries, if this feels like calm before the storm. You're not quite trusting something here. It's almost a little too quiet, too relaxed. We were talking about this eclipse, and I think some of you are like, well, is this coming? Is this happening? You might just be where you need to be. And there might not need to be any sort of intervention here, actually. But I do see some worries. I do see you still trying to think long term, and there might not be a lot of clarity there. I'm actually seeing this more, this is kind of bleeding into later on in February as well. We do have a Mercury retrograde that's going to be happening. And I do feel like for some of you, I feel like you're dwelling on something, some sort of conversation that happened, and it's almost like you're blowing it out of proportion a little bit because people are resting, people are healing. It might be taking some time, and it's like in this lull or in this rest period when you're not really hearing from this other person or this other party, you're kind of freaking out. For some of you, this is also a job situation. Maybe you're not hearing back, but things are still looking really good. You are coming into a lot of stability and a lot of abundance. But you're not seeing it, which is what's interesting. You're really not seeing it or feeling it or trusting in it. Why is that? I actually want to clarify this a little bit. Six of Wands and Ace of Pentacles. Okay. I almost get the sense that this is talking about an opportunity that might have felt like a missed opportunity. And this actually feels, for some of you, this actually is feeling like several months ago. Like, I feel like some of you have forgotten this. And all of a sudden with the Six of Wands, something is coming back in a little bit of an unexpected way. Something is returning to you and it's offering you a lot of stability. With this Ace of Pentacles, it's like you don't see this coming. And maybe because of this unexpected arrival, there's almost this apprehension here with it. I do feel like something or someone from the past is reaching out and trying to offer, I don't want to say commitment. It could be for some of you, but I actually feel like it's more like, what's the word? Restitution. Giving you back something. Maybe this person accidentally, or maybe they on purpose took something from you, or they were relying on you and something is coming back. They're offering something back to you. They're trying to give you something to make things right again. This could be a romantic connection, but I'm actually feeling like this is more about your stability right now. Because it feels like romantically things are kind of taking a pause. And that's not super surprising. Venus is moving through Capricorn and Aquarius. I actually believe it already entered Aquarius. And these two signs, they're not necessarily very focused on romance. I think they bring a lot more of the material aspects of Venus. Wealth, abundance, comfort, pleasure. That's kind of more the focus. And when it goes into Aquarius, it's not even about that. It's more, how can I redefine, revolutionize this? How can I detach from this even? Some of you are kind of a little detached from things, or that's kind of the energy. And if you do that, I do feel like there is this reward coming for you. But it's like, if you're feeling this anxiety, just observe it. When I say detach, I don't mean just like veg out, tune out the feelings, shut down your emotions. That's not what I'm necessarily trying to encourage you to do. I'm actually wanting you to observe it and become very aware of it. Go into this observer state of consciousness. Where do you feel this anxiety? What does it feel like in your body? Let it pass through you. And as you do that, you'll naturally notice that you're releasing your resistance. It's looking really good to be an Aries in January, just saying. I feel like some of you are really going to manifest something quite successfully and very beautifully. So again, that Aquarius new moon is going to be a really good time for you to manifest something big, because I actually feel like it could come for you. And there's a lot of healing that's happening as well. So I'm curious to see what the animal wisdom is here for my Aries. Interesting. So we have Peacock, and this is reminding me a lot of this Empress energy. I feel like as things are starting to settle in your life, as you're kind of gaining this perhaps unexpected stability, you're looking very attractive as well. Even though I was saying it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot happening romantically, people have their eyes on you. You know, you're definitely catching the notice of some people here, and you're looking really good. You're coming across as this Empress here, and you're taking on this Peacock energy as well, and it's just your own beauty. You're really getting into your own element here. And I almost feel like you attract someone on a very similar wavelength to that. You both earned something, and I feel like you are starting to come into each other's orbit, is what this feels like. I don't see an impact. I don't see an opening up quite yet with this person, but it's like someone's coming in, and maybe that's this person from the past trying to offer you something, maybe give you a little gift. But it feels slow. It's that Pentacles energy that offers slow and steady. And maybe things are just happening slower than you want them to, and maybe that's why you have this anxiety. Why are you anxious, Aries? I'd love to hear. Let me know in the comments down below. I'm not really getting any more messages for you right now. This is looking really good. I feel like you're actually going to have a really good January compared to the other signs. So I hope that is good news. I hope this reading is helpful. Make sure to hit like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments again what's going on for you. Maybe y'all can support each other, deal with this anxiety together, kind of work through it. I hope to see you all in the next video. Take care, Aries.